What's up, Lego builders? Welcome back to Coconut Brick Studios, and today we're going to be taking a look at this beautiful custom Lego Star Wars AAT. We're going to be taking a look at the build, the features of this beautiful machine, and how it shapes up and compares to Lego's official version. So don't go anywhere because I got a great video coming up. Before I get any further into the video, I want to point out that this is not my custom build. This was designed by a man of the name Mr. Idler. That's what he goes by on the web. I'll put a link to his page down below in the description. He makes some beautiful custom vehicles, and this is one of them, so you should definitely go check him out. I've been wanting a tan Episode 1 Phantom Menace style AAT for a little while now, so I've been shopping around on the internet and I came across this one among a few others, and I checked it out and fell in love with it. The angles on it look great. It's perfectly sized for what I need, and I just think it looks really cool, and it has some fun play features. On the bottom, it's got the old plates that went on the original AAT that came out in like 1999, I think. I have that one, and I built it and was not happy with it at all. And so I stripped it and used a few of the parts for this one, but I mostly had to buy new ones. But I'm glad he kept this original tan plating because it looks really cool with the missile tubes and it's pretty nostalgic. Up here on the front is where I really think you start to notice just how well designed this tank is. This is a very hard area to build just because if you look at actual photos, there are all kinds of weird angles coming in this way, swooping down this way, and then coming out this way, and it does look a bit odd at first glance, but the more you look at it, the nicer it gets, at least in my opinion. And I really like the two small laser blasters that he added down there. Great attention to detail. On the side, he's got two large engines just like on the actual thing, and then there is a little arm that rotates up and down with two cannons on it. I like how his arms are sized as well. We'll talk about that more later, but they're not too far out. They're in closer to the body of the tank, which is more accurate. The rear of the tank looks really nice as well. It's just one flat line all the way across, and what makes this even more impressive is these are both cylinders, and so he was able to design it so that it was just flat all across the back, even though both of these were round. And probably one of my favorite features on this tank is this little control pod that you can take out, and you can actually fit a droid in there, and so he can actually get put in there, and then you can have a nice little driver for your tank, which it's not a big interior, it's pretty small, but I just think it's so cool that with this nice of a display piece, he took the time to make a fun little play feature and actually put an interior on this tank. Also, I apologize if the lighting is weird and keeps going bright then dark. I'm playing with my lighting settings, just trying to figure out what I like and what looks good. Up here on the top, we have the turret, and it's fairly small and there isn't a whole lot to it, but there are a couple things to talk about. This cannon does rotate, or it does go up and down like that, and it actually can go down pretty far, which I like, because you can actually aim at things on the ground. The one thing I don't like is the connection right here between this half of the gun and this half. It's a little bit flimsy, and so if you point the barrel up, it almost looks like there's a small bend in it, which I really don't like. I might just push this rod further through like that, and then stick it like that, and that does slightly get rid of the bend, but I might have to figure out something else because that also shortens the barrel, which I don't really like. Up here on the top, we have a small little cockpit that opens up. Oops, the back's coming off. Another really cool little feature. This is such a small area, small turret, that I'm surprised he was even to figure out a functioning top, and you can even stick a droid in there. However, you do have to take his legs off, which is a bit sad, but that's okay because he's not going to need them in there. So you can set a droid up in there like that, which allows you to just have a fun little realistic look like the droids looking around for targets. Now we're just going to do a quick comparison of the Lego model versus the custom model, just to show you how they shape up. So I know this is the Clone Wars era AAT, and this is the Naboo / Episode 1 AAT, but this is the only one Lego's made that's actually big. Lego has made an AAT like this, but it's tiny and I don't really like it, so I'm going to compare these two. Lego's version is much bigger, and initially I really liked how big this one was, but as I've started putting it in mocks and trying to use it, it's really tough because this thing is absolutely massive. And so unless you have a really big mock, it's kind of hard to place, one or even two of these. And another thing, these flick fire missiles are just beyond flimsy. I can't tell you how many times I've knocked them off. So this is a lot more sturdier and it's a lot smaller, which allows me to do what I want with these tanks in the mocks I build. The backs, I guess, on both of these tanks actually come out. This one's obviously bigger and actually turns into a little cart that you can drive around. And it just pops out of the back of there. And then you've already seen this one, it's much smaller, but I thought that was cool that both of them just kind of had that little similarity. Overall, I am pretty pleased with this build. There are a couple parts that are a little flimsy, but that makes sense. Oftentimes custom builds like this are a little bit more touchy than Lego ones because these ones aren't meant to be played with as hard. The reason I'm showing this to you guys is because A, I think it's really cool and I like to do custom builds and modifications on my channel. And another reason, B, I guess you could say, is because this is actually going to be coming up in a future project. I did use it in my previous mock, which I'll put a link up in the top if you haven't seen that yet, but I'm actually going to be using it in another even bigger one. There will be multiple of these. So I wanted to give you guys a quick heads up on this and basically show you a little bit behind the scenes, how it came together and what it looks like. I have been asked how much this was, or how much it cost to build, because I had to custom order all these pieces off of Bricklink. It cost me around $50 to $60. It's kind of hard to pinpoint because I'm building multiple of these, so I bulk ordered the parts and I already had some parts, so I don't know exactly what the exact price range was, but somewhere in that range. Anyways, I hope I did this tank justice and I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Don't forget to let me know what you think of this AAT down below in the comments. And if you like the video, don't forget to leave me a like. I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any future content. But until next time, happy building.